Latitudes and longitudes. We have already read the Earth is spherical in shape. The region at the top of the Earth is the North Pole and the bottom is the South Pole. It has an imaginary axis running through the two extreme ends. The globe rotates around the axis. The axis is not straight. It is tilted at an angle of 23.5 degrees. If we want to find out the details of a place, we refer to globes and maps. It is because globes and maps have several imaginary lines which are horizontal as well as vertical. These imaginary lines help in pinpointing exact locations on the Earth. The circle which divides the globe into two hemispheres is called the equator. The north portion of the hemisphere is called the northern hemisphere. The south portion of the hemisphere is called the southern hemisphere. The vertical lines are known as longitudes and the horizontal lines are known as latitudes. Atlas. Every map on the atlas helps us locate places. Every atlas has a section towards the end known as the index. The index tells us about the names of the places marked on the atlas in an alphabetical order. There are certain numbers written alongside the names of the places. These numbers indicate the location of the place. Alongside the numbers, the alphabets in capital letter N north, S south, E east, and W west are also written. These alphabets indicate directions. Latitudes and longitudes. In order to locate places precisely on a map and even on a globe, we take the help of the grid of latitudes and longitudes. Latitudes. There are concentric circles on both sides of the equator. These circumferences keep on diminishing with their distance from the equator. These circles are called latitudes. These latitudes are parallel and equidistant from one another. Hence, these are also known as parallels of latitudes. The latitudes are marked from 0 degree to 90 degree, the equator being at 0 degree. The degree of latitude is followed by the north and the south. The North Pole is at 90 degree north and the South Pole is at 90 degree south. In all, there are 181 degrees from North Pole to the South Pole. It includes 0 degree of the equator. All the latitudes from complete circles except the North and the South Poles, which are points. The latitudes decrease in length as we move from the equator to the poles. Thus, the latitude of a place tells you how far north or south a place is from the equator. Other than the equator and the poles, there are 4 other important latitudes. Important latitudes. Some of the important latitudes are listed below. Tropic of Cancer, 23.5 degree north. Arctic Circle, 66.5 degree north. Tropic of Capricorn, 23.5 degree south. Antarctic Circle, 66.5 degree south. Longitudes. The imaginary lines joining the poles are called longitudes. These lines encircle the Earth vertically. Longitudes are also called meridians. Unlike latitudes, these are all of the same size. The longitude running through the Greenwich Observatory near London is marked 0 degree. It is called the prime meridian or the Greenwich meridian. The prime meridian divides the Earth into 2 hemispheres, the eastern hemisphere and the western hemisphere. There are 360 degrees of longitudes in total, in which hemisphere there are 180 longitudes which are numbered from 0 degree to 180 degree. The region 180 degree east to the prime meridian is called the eastern hemisphere. The region 180 degree west to the prime meridian is called the western hemisphere. Grid and time. The circles of latitudes and longitudes make a network on the surface of the globe. The crisscross pattern or the squares thus formed by these intersecting lines are called grid. The grid of latitudes and longitudes helps us to calculate time. It also locates places on the Earth. If we know the longitude and the latitude of a place, we can locate it accurately on the global grid. For example, Cochin is situated near the latitude 90 degree north. It also lies near the longitude 76 degree east. With this information, it would be very easy to locate Cochin on the globe or a map. The longitudes help us in calculating time of a particular place. The difference between the 2 consecutive meridians is 4 minutes. If we travel towards the east of prime meridian, we add 4 minutes with each passing meridian. If we travel west from the prime meridian, we subtract 4 minutes as we pass each meridian. The 180 degree east and 180 degree west longitudes Meridian form a single line on the opposite side of the world. It is called the 180-degree longitude or the international date line. As we cross this meridian, a new date begins.